Sometimes we have to weigh the risk of exposure to radiation to the benefit it can bring. For example, a CT angiogram scan of the heart exposes an individual to 1/10 of the amount of radiation exposure received by the average Hiroshima atomic bomb survivor. However, the risk of having an imminent heart attack resulting in death could outweigh that cost. Also, someone that has 6 PET scans for the purpose of cancer detection will have the same radiation exposure as an atomic bomb survivor. There's a lot of controversy around exact correlations between radiation exposure and health issues such as cancer rates. I won't go into all the details, so I'm just going to mention a couple of considerations. Many scientists will suggest that there's a threshold, somewhere between 50 millisieverts and 100 millisieverts, of dosage, which, if exceeded, results in a strong linear correlation with cancer risk. So the higher the dosage above the threshold, the higher the cancer risk. But there is much more disagreement and some conflicting evidence about the risks of cancer from lower doses. Much of our data about radiation exposure comes from atomic bomb survivors or situation of radiation exposure from medical treatments. It's not as clear what the adverse effects of low radiation dosages are over longer periods of exposure. But despite the debate, many scientists will agree that we can assume that even low doses are potentially harmful. The radioactivity of substances have lifetimes that are determined using half-life measurements. The half-life of a radioactive substance is defined as the amount of time it takes for half of the atoms to decay. If you wait 10 half-lives, then only 1,000th of the atoms will be left. For example, iodine-131 has a half-life of about 8 days, meaning in 80 days, 99.9% of the atoms will have decayed into the stable xenon-131 element, which is harmless. The human body also has a biological half-life for materials, whether they're radioactive or not. This is the time it takes to remove half of any material that's present in the body. The biological half-life depends on the physical and chemical properties of the material in question. For example, xenon-131 can pass through the body without harm or issue. However, strontium-90 can be absorbed into bones since the body doesn't distinguish it from calcium.